to welcome Alexandra Watkins today. She's a leading authority in brand names with buzz. As a founder of her firm, Eat My Words, she has helped countless clients differentiate themselves with love at first sight names for products, companies, and services. And today, she's going to show us how we can do the same. Alexandra, to you.
Thank you, Volker. Good morning, everyone. This is early for me, but I'm glad to see all of you. And I want to give a shout out to Craig Harrison, who I've known Craig for a million years. He's the one that got me started in speaking and Toastmasters and NSA. So thank you to Craig for having me. All right. So I appreciate all of you being here today to learn how to differentiate your brand with creative names. There's a lot to cover. And we have a lot of fun things, including a breakout where you'll be able to brainstorm and then a live brainstorming session with me. So let's jump right in. Why? All right. So here's what we're going to cover today. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then we're just going to go over what makes a name strong versus what makes a name weak. And I have a test where you can test if your name is good. Then we'll have a breakout room. I'm calling it Food for Thought, where you'll be able to discuss names that you're using in your own business and ideas that you could, I think you'll see a lot of inspiration in these slides. And then you'll get excited and think about what you might possibly be able to do for yourself to brand yourself. And then we'll do the live brainstorming demo. So this is me on a good hair day, the other side of my office. And I have a moniker, and that's something we're going to talk about today. My moniker is brand name badass. So I encourage all of you to have monikers for yourself, and we'll see more examples of those. But just while I'm going through this, just be percolating on, oh, what could I do for my business that would be like that? All right, so a little bit about me. I am an outspoken authority on brand names. I am the chief executive boss lady at Eat My Words. I started my naming firm 18 years ago this month. I'm the author of Hello, My Name is Awesome, How to Create Brand Names That Stick, which is right here. And it was named an Inc. Top 10 marketing book. And my biggest claim to fame is that I named the Wendy's Baconator. So if you have eaten a Wendy's Baconator, you have literally eaten my words. All right, a couple things to know about me and the firm. These are some clients that we've worked with. But in addition to working with a lot of big companies, we do work with a lot of coaches, consultants, solopreneurs, small businesses, and then a lot of people that haven't made a name for themselves yet. And that's why they work with us to make a name for themselves. I've created, hundreds of names over the years. These are three of my favorites. This is a GPS for dogs, name Retriever. This is a Spanish language school, and that is a self-deprecating name, making fun of myself. I live in San Diego and still don't know Spanish, which is embarrassing. I am the ultimate gringo. And then finally, the Church of Cupcakes. And you can see they have a really fun tagline, Worshipers Welcome. So we're going to talk about how you can use taglines as well, and you can really blow out your brand with really just having fun with it, like the Church of Cupcakes has done. By the way, the woman that runs it calls herself the church lady. So something to be thinking about. What could you call yourself other than your own name? Okay, so now let's take a look at strong names versus weak names. So there's lots of advantages to having a strong name. And I know because I've had one for 18 years, and then we've helped a lot of clients develop strong names as well. So they help you stand out and get noticed. And, we're in a sea of sameness. That's really important. They can give you a competitive edge. They attract customers and get more sales. Imagine, remember the yellow pages? So imagine like somebody just staring at the yellow pages and your name is in there. What's going to make you stand out? A strong name can command a higher price. if I have an online course and I go through some of this, just how tweaking some words can actually make people pay more, even though it's an identical service or product. And finally, strong names can endure for a lifetime. And that's what you want when you're naming your company, you're coming up with names. Your name is the longest lasting investment that you'll ever make in your company. Will last longer than, any piece of office equipment, than your most loyal employee. Your name will endure for a lifetime. So you want to make sure you get it right. And then what you don't want a weak name is weak names can frustrate and confuse people. They can hinder word of mouth because people aren't either pronouncing your name right, or they don't know what it is that you do because your name isn't giving them a hint. It can hurt brand awareness. Having a weak name can devalue your brand. And what I mean by that is if somebody were to here's what happens. You have a name. There's a kids baby clothing company, organic baby clothing company called Species. And every time someone sees species spelled SPEESEES, it needs to be explained. And on the company website, they explained it by saying species is spelled that way because that's how babies would spell species if babies could spell. But that's just making excuses. And anytime you make an excuse for your brand, you're apologizing for your name, you're apologizing for it, and that devalues your brand. And having a name that is weak will cause a lifetime of regret. And if you don't believe me, ask the founder of Cho Chocolate, spelled TCHO. All right, and you guys might know that from the Bay Area. So here's the test of a good name. And it's based on my philosophy, a name should make you smile instead of scratch your head. And it's called, surprise, surprise, the Smile and Scratch Test. It has been featured in the Wall Street Journal, Inc. magazine, a lot of different business journals. It's the backbone of my book. And it's also really the basis of my course, How to Create Super Sticky Brand Names. So SMILE is an acronym for the 5 qualities that make a name great, and Scratch is the flip side of that. So in the interest of time today, so we have plenty of time for your breakout and time to brainstorm, I'm just going to go through SMILE and show you some examples, and I'll show you a couple, and I will walk you through Scratch as well, but I'll talk through those examples. So the S in SMILE stands for suggestive, and that means you want your name to suggest something about your product, memorable, self-explanatory. Your name should have imagery, legs, we'll dive into that quite a bit, and make an emotional connection. So suggestive, your name should suggest something about what it is that you do. And for a lot of people that are speakers or consultants or authors, unless you have a brand name and you're just using your own name, your name doesn't say anything about you. Here's an example. So Melanie she's French. She lives in Ireland, and she's a coach who coaches coaches. And she has a very domineering personality, but you wouldn't know anything about her coaching style or her playful sense of humor by just her first and last name. And a lot of us do that, right? If I was just using the name Alexandra Watkins, it doesn't say anything about the fact that I create brand names. So what Melanie did is she read my book and she created a really fun brand for herself. And she calls herself the Yes Mistress. And she teaches coaches how to sell without feeling dirty or inadequate. And I've taken some of her sales courses or sales coaching, and she is great. And I'm actually helping her right now blow out her brand with other names that work with this. So her guarantee, for instance, her boot camp guarantee is her no mercy guarantee. So you can have a lot of fun simply by giving yourself a moniker or naming your business and having fun with it. People appreciate a sense of humor. So that's suggestive. And then the M in SMILE stands for memorable. And memorable simply means that our our name is based in something, our brand name is based in something familiar. Now, some of you may know Mark Hunter. He's a sales guru. He's a, author, speaker, coach, like so many of us are. And he calls his company the Sales Hunter. So that's perfect for him, right? And it's like really, it's super memorable. And that's the name of his podcast as well. And we get more and more requests to name a podcast. And we're doing one for the Yes Mistress. Her podcast, I believe, is going to be called Good Pain. I think that's what we're going to call that one. All right. So here is an example. You guys might know Patrick. So Patrick's last name is not memorable at all, right? I still don't know how to pronounce it or spell it. And he realized trying to get meeting planners to remember it was really difficult. So he was really smart, and he came up with a simple domain name that he could give to meeting planners. Even if he just met someone for, 2 minutes, he could give that to them. And it is bookpatrick.com. So that's one for all of you to write down, get a domain name if you are a speaker with the word book in front of it. It also helps if you're an author, I guess. All right. So the I in smile stands for imagery. Like I said, people remember pictures much more easily than they remember words or letters. Here is an example of two seemingly identical bike locks. One is called Kryptonite and one is called Abbas or a bus. Now, which one do you think is going to be easier for you to remember 3 days from now? Well, if you're like most people, it's going to be Kryptonite, because Kryptonite, when you hear the name, see the name, you can picture it in your head, because we all know Kryptonite from Superman. So when we need to retrieve that name later from our brain's dusty filing cabinet, it's right on top. Where Abbas, we don't have anything familiar to hang on to. So that's going to be harder because it's not familiar to us. Although I did figure out if in the Bay Area, like so many of us have had our bikes stolen. So if you have your bike stolen, you might need to take a bus. So that was my mnemonic for remembering this one. All right, next, the L in smile. And this is my most favorite letter. Okay, and it should be yours too, because if you own a small business, you can have a lot of fun with legs. So legs simply means that your name lends itself to a theme. So some of you might know Lynette Hoy. She is a fiery publicist, and she was just using her own name as her business name, but her name doesn't say anything about her. So unless you know her, you wouldn't know that she was a publicist or anything about her personality. So we rebranded her Fire Talker PR with the tagline, Hot on the Press. So here's what else we did for Lynette. Her title is Fire Chief. So anyone can have a fun title. She calls her office, her headquarters, the firehouse. Most of us have packages, service offerings that we do. Some of hers are called Fire Starter and Inferno. Her webinar is called Ignite Your Visibility, and her theme song is Fire by the Ohio Players. So we've all been to speaking engagements or done speaking engagements, and we're trying to get the audience on their feet, and like people do some really hokey stuff, right? Like, okay, everyone stand on your feet and do this, and it's ridiculous, right? But with Lynette, all she has to do is crank up Fire by the Ohio Players, and it gets people on their feet naturally, right? See, Craig's doing it right now. So this is what, if you have a name with legs that lends itself to a theme, this is what you can do with it. All right, so we at Eat My Words have a really fun theme too, food and beverage. Oh, that, by the way, is our pink refrigerator that I have in our office. It's a 1950s pink fridge where we keep our cool books. So the fridge is the icon. So it doesn't have to just be verbal branding. It can extend to all kinds of goodies and tchotchkes and all kinds of stuff. So our tagline, fresh names and taglines to go. Our blog is called The Kitchen Sink. We have packages like snack. That's a new one I'm introducing. Supermarket special. Oh, by the way, I'm going to have snack and snack pack. Then email sign off. Ciao for now. And then my theme song. Okay, Craig, can you do this one? Sugar, Sugar by the Archies. It's super boppy and fun. And it's great. Like sometimes I'll do presentations and the conference will play my theme music for me when I come on stage. So it's really fun. And like, it expresses your personality, right? And it's so hard to do that with words, but like a song can really, I mean, you can kind of do it with words, but a song really brings it to life. So here's another way that we've extended our brand. This is a goodie box that we send in the mail when people sign up for my workshop, and they get the book, they get a food for thought notepad, they get a pen that's shaped like a Twizzler. This cork toast is a toast coaster. My business card is a little pink fridge that opens up, and then there's the pink mints, and then they get a card with donuts on it. And then on the front of the box, there's a little girl looking through some donut eyeballs. So people love to get things in the mail, and that's just a way that we've had so much fun extending our brand with food. So, you know, now that I've shown you a lot of things with legs, and the Yes Mistress is having a lot of fun with this too. So one of the names I came up with for her boot camp yesterday was Sales Sissy Boot Camp. She's for people that are afraid of sales. So like, have fun. And so now that you've seen this, just start like really thinking about what could you do for your business, because there's lots of opportunities. All right. And then finally, the E in Scratch stands for emotional. Now, a lot of people do still insist on using their own name as their business name. Speakers do this a lot because they've established themselves as a brand. But what you can do here is have a moniker. So here's Bernice, Fly Girl Armor. Now, this was on Big Speak, and I went here looking for what speakers have cool monikers, and I'm scrolling, hardly any do, and I see Fly Girl, and she was America's first Black female combat pilot, and she also commands $30,000 to $40,000 for a speaking engagement. So, you know, she's a badass. So that really stopped me in my tracks, and that made an emotional connection. But if I just saw her name like this, I wouldn't even stop. Right? So look at the difference. And all this is 2 words, Fly Girl. Craig, you're not going to be Fly Guy. Sorry. All right. So that is emotional. So if you can get your name, if you can get people to feel something when they see your name, that's what you want to do. You want your name to resonate with people. So that was Smile. And then I'll just quickly go through Scratch. So if your name has any of these deal breakers, it will make people scratch their head. So scratch it off the list. And this goes for names, taglines, service names, really anything. These apply. So spelling challenge. If your name looks like a typo, scratch it off the list. Someone told me yesterday, they said autocorrect. Yeah, if your name tries to get autocorrected, now there's exceptions. If it's a coin name like Groupon, I think is a really cool name. So, you know, Pinterest, there's names that get made up that will get flagged by autocorrect. But if you're spelling your name just like if you spelled tackle, Takkle, the Journal of American Marketing just came out with a study saying that consumers do not like those names because they frustrate them. They would prefer a name that's spelled correctly. Hey, if you can't get the domain name, there's ways around that. I talk a lot about that in my course and in my book. Okay, copycat. Nobody likes a copycat, and I think speakers can be guilty of this sometimes. So, you know, why be somebody else when you can be yourself? If you have a story to tell, it should be just your story. If your name should just apply to you. Restrictive is when you outgrow your name. 24-hour fitness is no longer open 24 hours in a lot of locations. Or maybe maybe you hang your hat on leadership, you know, but then later on you go into something like slightly related, but not totally related. So you don't want to outgrow your name. So when you're naming your company or whatever you're naming, look into your crystal ball and make sure that name still fits. Annoying. Nobody wants to be frustrated with your name. So if your name is cute, if it's overly clever, if it's spelled backwards, if it has letters in it, sorry, not letters, numbers in place of letters, things like that. Tame is just where your name is kind of flat and descriptive, fades into the background. If you're using your own personal name, it would be tame simply by meaning that it doesn't evoke anything about what your brand is or does. And that's where someone like Vernice was able to take her tame name and make it an exciting name by giving herself a moniker. Curse of knowledge. This is more like a engineer thing in the Bay Area. You know, you've all seen those really bad, like bad.com names, or it's where somebody knows the meaning of a name, but nobody else does. So it's a Swahili word, or it's a French word that might be meaningful to the person who came up with it, but they kind of forget that nobody else knows what it means. And finally, and this is a really big one, hard to pronounce, your name should be easy and intuitive for people to pronounce. Nobody wants to struggle with it. We've all been in a restaurant wanting to order something off the menu, but for me, it would be a French restaurant, and I didn't want to butcher the pronunciation. So either I didn't order it, I pointed to it, or I just tried to make out some of the ingredients in it and say that. And I think we've all been through that. So think about those things when you're coming up with names. Like, your name should be painless. All right. So now that you've seen some examples, we're going to do a breakout. And your assignment is, what creative names or a personal moniker can you use to differentiate yourself from your competitors? So just start thinking about this. And when you go into your rooms, discuss it, and then you're going to come back and share some results, and then I can help you brainstorm further. So now let's look at the results. So who wants to share anything they came up with, anything they need help with, anything they want to go further on?
I can share.
Mm-hmm.
Anna. Can you see me, Alexandra?
Yeah, Anna, I can see you. Yes.
My name is Ana Boaventura. I'm Portuguese. Boaventura means good fortune. It should be great to use, but of course here nobody knows what it means. But then I realized, Anna, there's so many things you can do with Anna. So I've been playing throughout the years with that name, and I came up with Anna Log, the log of Anna, and I do digital, so. And I thought of analogic, the logic of Anna, analogy, analogy, that probably is not very clear, but anyway, those are some of the ideas.
Okay, I'm going to show everybody a trick. So we had a client named Anna. She was a big mucky muck at Google, and we were naming their new AI venture fund a couple of years ago. And we wanted to play off of her name. And so the Anaconda was my favorite one that we came up with. But I'm going to just go into, let me stop the share, stop the steal. Okay. Now I'm going to share again, and I'll share my whole screen. And then I want to show you a really nifty trick. And then Volker is going to share some brainstorming resources with you. So with Anna, this is a website. And this website I'm showing you, by the way, is not in my brainstorming resources. I'm because it's Craig, and I love Craig, I'm giving you guys a lot. I'm showing you a lot of things that aren't in the brainstorming resources. So take screenshots, and I'll let you know when those are, but this is one of them. It's called One Look. So I'm just going to type in the word Anna with a hyphen after it, or with an asterisk after it. So we're going to see all of these words that start with Anna, and then we're going to do commonness. Okay, so here's a whole bunch of them. So and then you can do, let's see, common words and phrases. So then you can just, there's pages and pages and pages. You could also try Anna. I don't know if that would work as well. Yeah, so I still like anaconda. That was my favorite one. And then you can also do things that end in Anna by doing that search. Marijuana. Yeah, it's hard to get them to rhyme. Oh, but speaking of rhymes, because we all know Anna banana. So you can type in Anna and search for rhymes. This website, by the way, Rhyme Zone, there's so much here. This is really one of my favorites. Isn't it funny? I think we need to have Anna like that so it really knows to rhyme it. Anna bandana. So yeah, just keep scrolling down this page. Okay, who else has something that needs some brainstorming help?
Thank you, Alexandra.
Mhm.
I could use some.
Okay, go on.
So I'm Pia, and so my company name I'm going by now, Shine Your Calling.
Mhm.
And so it's about like connecting with who you are, finding out your gifts, your treasure inside, and shining it out. And I'm trying to be clever with it or find the moniker for it, and I'm really not. It's not happening yet.
Okay, well, you can go to this. There's a couple places you can do or things you can do. So this website's called Phraseworthy. It's a subscription site, but you might be able to get a free 30-day trial. I'm not sure what they're doing right now, but if we type in the word shine, then we're going to get a lot of things related to shine. Oh, moonshine, sunshine. Then these are all things that are related to shine. Oh, eternal. We know that was eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. So here's some more things with shine. What's the name of your business?
Shine Your Calling.
Shine Your Calling.
So it's about your depths as well. So it's kind of also like exploring your depths,
Well, what I would do then is I would go to a site and I would type in the word shine on a thesaurus. And then I would, hear some words related to that. So like radiance, I think illuminate is a word that I would definitely use for you. Like you're illuminating, you're shedding light on things so people can find their calling. So yeah, I would just start playing around with the word shine and look for words that are similar to it that you can use in your marketing. But as far as your title, what would the personality of your title be?
The personality?
Yeah.
It should be something that feels bright and expansive and brilliant.
Okay.
That right?
Yeah, I would call yourself the illuminator.
Okay.
Do you guys see how that it works really well, like the illuminator? And that's a nice moniker because you could be illuminating people about many different things.
Nice.
And by the way, you'll all get the link to my brainstorming resources that are here. And there's a lot of other places to go. Okay, who else?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Deborah? Oh, you're on mute.
There you go. Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity. I am a Deborah Myers Wellness. I do energy balancing and I teach self-help acupressure, just so you have a sense of what I offer. And I do a lot of workshops, including workplace wellness programs and including programs for kids in schools. And that's the piece that I really want to bring more out into the world now that pandemic is kind of evening itself out. I've had the opportunity to get back into the world with that, so I'm really excited about it. And it to get the kids learning what they can do for themselves to be better partners with their own bodies, let go of stress, be more productive. The name of my program for the kids is Productive Mindfulness School Program, and it's what's up on my website as the name of the program. I'd like to find a subtitle for that. And I'd kind of like to have a moniker. My original business name was Health at Your Fingertips, and I still make use of that. It's not only branded, it's trademarked. And so I could build that in some way if you think that makes sense. I'm looking for some ideas in your guidance.
The name of your program, is it Productive Mindfulness?
Correct.
I feel like if you're targeting kids, you might want to consider something more kid friendly.
Yeah, that's what Shelley said in the breakout, that, use a productive word like jump or something like that.
Yeah, because kids don't relate to the word productive at all. And also mindfulness those are two big grown-up words.
Right.
Like,
well, the thing is that the decision makers are the administrators.
Right.
They're the ones that are searching for ways to expand and get funding from the grants and everything that are being made available, and talking about mindfulness and, letting go of bullying. I mean, those are the big things right now.
Yeah, is there, instead of saying productive mindfulness, is there then I feel like you need to balance it with something that's a little more fun. I mean, the administrators can see the word mindfulness, but I don't know. Does anyone have any suggestions for something that's more kid friendly? I don't have kids.
I have a suggestion. I'm Shelley Golden. I'm the one who actually mentioned the word jump. And I was thinking, because one of the things that Deborah always does is she likes to have her kids start the day with clean your house, or, whatever your program is, Deborah. So maybe it's jumpstart your day with something.
And that's perfect, because one of the steps that I teach everybody is jumper cabling.
Oh, maybe that could be it. Because I know you like to do kind of like start your day. So like jumpstart your day with blah, blah, blah.
Or
the other aspect,
mindfulness jumpstart.
The other aspect is mindfulness suggests a lot of sitting still and meditation. And that is not what your workshops are like. They're very lively. It's very embodied. It's not, so it might the associations mislead people.
Yeah, then I would get away from the word mindfulness. Yeah, it's like really just move away from those words and think about what is the core experience that kids are having and what are they getting out of it? But yeah, productive mindfulness to me sounds very corporate-y.
Love your nervous system. Not that that's kid friendly, but you're embracing something, or there's something about that self-love and the kindness to yourself. Yeah.
Right. And with that in mind, the very first step of the flow I teach everybody is give yourself a hug. You teach your body that you love it, and you teach your body how to love you back.
Something like awake and expand, or awake and grow.
I love this. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, who else?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to let you guys decide who goes next.
Jessica, I think
Kayla
you're
had her hand up
next
for a
in.
long time.
Okay, great. Hello, I'm Jessica.
Hi.
I mostly work with leaders at work and home. So potentially you could say like working parents, but I have resources for like systems and routines at home and also at work, like for managers. So and a lot of people say back to me, part of my kind of brand and life purpose is like, I want folks to have more joy and ease in life. And people like, that seems to be sticky. I hear people say like, I need more joy and ease in my thing, Jess, I have a brand called Joyfully Managed Family. But that seems to leave out the fact that I do a lot of stuff that is courses that are for people at work. So I've been playing with Joyfully Managed Life. And I like the Joyfully Managed because it brings in the aspect of joy, but it's not just, it's like about the systems and routines, which is my area of genius. So I would love to get some sort of moniker. And I think what's potentially holding me back is trying to serve all the people and like not getting niched enough, probably, but would love any advice on any of that or what comes up for people.
Yeah. So for you, I would have joy in your moniker.
Okay.
J is a really difficult word. I love alliteration. J is a difficult word. I'll show you all a trick. So if you do words that start with J, then this is a place to start. And there will be, lots and lots and lots. Joy.
Well, joy, and my name is Jessica, so maybe there's something there. Jess. It's easier to rhyme Jess.
Well, let's try this. Okay, so let's see.
Ooh, less stress with Jess. Thanks, Ulrika.
Less stress with Jess. I like that. Joy is hard. Okay, hopefully this program won't shut down. It's called Word Menu, and I'm going to look up job titles. Oops. Okay, so I'm looking up occupations and job titles. This is going to be very long, but what I would do is I would go through here and look up what starts with J. So you could be the joy jester.
The joy janitor.
Yeah, I thought a janitor too, but not. But see how, like, even if you took parts of words, so joy keeper, right? Or joy ranger. But you see what I'm doing? I'm just looking for parts of words. So that could be something helpful, just trying to find what is. But also like Mark Hunter has the sales hunter. So you could be the joy jump starter.
Jump starter. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but like Smith, the Joy Smith, that's not really great. But the Joy Jack, that's not really great either. But you see what I'm doing. You see what I'm doing.
I see what you're doing. Yeah.
Start. Okay. Who's next?
Sheila's been waiting since the beginning. Can we call on Sheila Meyerson, please?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So I help people have effective meetings and look at work with collaboration in general. So this is a brand new idea about coming up with, I go by Meyerson Consulting, but I'd love to have a moniker. And what somebody came up with for me in the breakout group is collaboration queen. That's just the first one that occurred. I've never thought about that. There may be something better. And with us, with a tagline of greater than the sum of its parts. So I'm open to suggestions for either part of that.
Okay. Tell me again what you do. Tell me how collaboration works with what you do. Is that the right word? Do you feel that's the right word?
Yes, because I teach people how to have meetings so that the sum is greater than, so that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So that and there's something called like people who have individual awareness may not have collaborative awareness. So I do collaboration in general, and meetings is one part of what I do.
Oh, because I was going to say meeting magician sounds much more exciting to me than collaboration queen. Collaboration is a big, heavy word.
Yeah, I know.
And it also, do you get in the door with meetings and then you offer other services as well? Is that primarily what you do?
Sometimes.
Yeah, then I would stick with something like I would move away from, me personally, I just feel like it's one of those collaborations, it's one of those words that's used so much, but like people want to learn to have more effective meetings. And so if you were meeting magician or something like that, or going back to,
I also thought of meeting maven, but meeting magician might be better.
Yeah, I don't personally care for maven. I think it's kind of an old-fashioned word, but if you went back to a word menu, and by the way, this is a book that you can get as well, but if we looked up job titles again.
So what's the website that you're, oh, this is
it's not a website, it's software, and they don't make it anymore, and it's called Word Menu, but you can get the book on, it's a great book for anybody that does any kind of writing. If you order the book on Amazon, it's by Random House, get the large print version, because otherwise it's just teeny tiny print. And I apologize that I don't think I can make this any bigger, but here, like with it, let's say you were using collaboration, you could be the collaboration chairman or, chairwoman, chief collaborator, but with the M for meeting, I just saw meteorologist. I don't think I like meetingologist because I'm not a fan of, I don't know. I think that tries too hard, but that's something you could do. So yeah, meeting master, although master, we're not supposed to use that word anymore.
About meeting magnet?
Yeah, meeting magnet. I feel like meeting magnet, you want magnetic meetings, but you need somebody who's going to help. I feel like a magnet is something like a meeting magnet to me is pizza, that's going to get people to come to the meeting.
I'm also playing with the title for a program that I offer called Avoid Meetings That Suck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. But I think that there's definitely, meeting maker, meeting mechanic. I mean, that's pretty interesting. So yeah, what I would like to do is if you have a word that's pedestrian, combine it with a word that's more unexpected, like mechanic.
I like meeting magician more than meeting mechanic.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Who's next?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Shelley.
Probably this time-wise, this might be the last one.
Okay.
All right. So I put in the chat. So I'm starting a new program. I'm an image consultant. I'm starting a new program, helping speakers, whether they're on stage or on a virtual platform, look fabulous. So they feel confident, kind of what they're wearing, basically what they're wearing, how they show up in the Zoom box, lighting, background, clothing, etc. So I put in the chat kind of after the first breakout room, kind of revised the name of the program. And I'm kind of two things are going through my head. the name of this program and also kind of coming up with a moniker. I love the idea of a moniker. I know that's like too asked, but anyhow, just like to get your thoughts.
I don't see in the chat what you put in the chat. Oh, wow to impress, dress for impact. So
Yeah.
is that's the name of
The program.
okay. But is it for Zoom calls or is it for on stage?
Both.
Stage and screen.
Yeah, I guess I might try something with stage because the whole like dress to impress, like that's been done. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't do dress to impress though.
But you have impressed, you have impressed.
Yeah, it was really kind of, I really initially was like, start with wow, and then like how to dress for impact and appeal from the stage. But the word appeal apparently got changed to confidence because I like the word confidence.
I feel like I would just stay away from the word impress just because you do have wow to impress, dress for impact. So I'm just seeing this as like dress for impress broken up into two things.
Okay.
I would play around with the word stage maybe. Although that's probably been done a lot.
Or also like, if people are doing TEDx talks, they're on stage, or people are speaking in front of large, giving large presentations.
Right. So what I would do is I would go to a phrase site. So this one is called phrases.org.uk and it's on the brainstorming list. And I would look up words related to stage or phrases related to stage and see what comes up. Yeah, I don't like these. I'm going to do a specific search. Okay.
I don't know how it would fit in, Shelley, but I like the word spotlight because that's what you do.
Yeah.
You spotlight.
Yeah, I like spotlight.
I like that too.
Yeah, I like spotlight. Plus, if you're helping people with lighting for Zoom calls, that works really well. Yeah, so, and then you could also just go to thesaurus and look up spotlight. You could do like
standing in the spotlight.
Well, but a lot of times people are sitting. I feel like it's spotlight on success, something like that. Yeah, there's a lot. I like the word spotlight a lot. I would play around with S words. There's tons of words that start with S. Okay, so I want to make sure that I have a minute to tell you guys about my online course. Is that cool?
By the way, thank you all for putting the little suggestions in the chat. I like Julie. Julie, that's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Tell you guys really quick that I do have an online course called How to Create Super Sticky Brand Names, and there's so much more in the course than I covered today. We just barely scratched the surface. So the course, it's at namesmasterclass.com. There's 6 different modules. So there's a whole module on Smile where I go through all of the letters, all the letters in Scratch is really good. I think there's 5 lessons on domain names. I get a lot of strategies there. You'll see Patrick again. The creative brief, that's what you really need to start brainstorming, is a document that you fill out that's kind of like a roadmap for coming up with names. And then there's 10 brainstorming lessons. And then for anybody that's going through a name change or considering a name change, there's a lot of really valuable content there as well. And normally, well, let's see, the basic course, I call it Just the Meat. It's almost a $2,000 value. I'm having a crazy sale right now. This is the lowest price it's ever been, $199. So it's $700 off and at namesmasterclass.com. And then I gave you guys the promo code Baconator since you're bacon and I named the Baconator. So that is my deal for you. And if you want to work with me directly, there's other options for the course as well, or just hiring me directly. And I just want to say thank you for letting me name drop